everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Fortress of a podcast about movies and TV shows and video games and lots of pop culture nerd things. My name is Oscar. I'll be one of your hosts today. And with me, per usual, he's back, all reliable. Brian is here with us. How's it going, Brian?
Why am I like the old like pellet rifle in the corner that's all dusty and fucking paint all shedded? Oh,
True.
reliable right there. You know, you've been through three
We
tours.
need a new. We might need a new nickname for you in the new year. Listeners, yes, is our final episode of the year before we take a break with all the holidays and whatnot going on. You'll see us in a couple weeks, so keep an eye on that. We're not disappearing forever. But Alex and Devin wish they were here. They are not.
They're celebrating Hanukkah. Getting what, a gift a day or what? I don't know much
Yeah.
about Hanukkah. I'm sorry, everybody. Kwanzaa also exists. Another holiday I know absolutely nothing about.
Right. But they do say hello. Yeah, and they say we'll see you next year. But yeah, so it's me and Brian. We got a big show coming up. Sorry, no Avatar. That'll be listeners are probably our first show of the new year. So look forward to that. So with that though, Brian, we got a pretty big show. Should we now get into our first segment of the week?
Yeah, we got to give James Cameron some time to make at least $8 billion in order to make
It's
even
true.
famous movies.
It's true.
News talk.
Oh, also, listeners, if you want to avoid spoilers or skip sections that you don't care about, check the time codes for all of the info there. First things first, man, I feel like we're going to be talking about DC forever at this point because a lot of new DC news came out. Like, literally, I think like the day after we recorded or some shit. The biggest piece being that Henry Cavill is no longer Superman.
Rest in peace. Another mid-credit scene that will amount to absolutely
What
nothing.
the fuck?
I think the funniest thing about this is the fact that DC came out with a lot of ideas of what's happening with what's going on with them, and a lot of cuts are going to be happening. And
hmm
I would not be surprised if Black Adam's going to be one of them, considering Black Adam is something that The Rock wanted to do for the last 15 years, and he didn't want to be in Shazam because he's a piece of shit. And even though he's the main villain of Shazam, fuck you,
Yep.
idiot. And now he will never get to
That's
fight Superman because that movie
right.
tanked.
Yeah. If he stays somehow, I'm gonna be pissed.
If he stays and Henry Cavill doesn't, that would just be so
Yeah.
disrespectful.
Yeah, so James Gunn, because he's been on Twitter a lot, just trying to put out fires and just kind of communicate with people, which I give him respect for. He did confirm that based on their new DC master plan, that Henry Cavill will no longer be their Superman because I'm assuming this is the big reason is that based on he's written a script or he's still currently writing a Superman script based off a younger Superman. And let's face it, Henry Cavill is 40, but he looks amazing and also he's good as the role in my opinion. And Henry Cavill confirmed it on Instagram. It was a very like kind of somberish, heartfelt Instagram post, clearly written in his phone's notes app. um, where he basically just said how yeah, he's had a meeting with Peter Safran and James Gunn, and he's no longer going to be Superman.
What's wild is like, was
Ugh.
no contract signed? Did this man really leave The Witcher with no contract and just with all vibes? Like, well, James Gunn's a cool guy, so he told me I could be in there, and I filmed a little trailer. So like, we're in there, boys.
Well, I guess that's the thing is that when he did Black Adam, I think the day before the James Gunn news came out was when Henry Cavill said he was back as Superman. So maybe when he went over there, James Gunn wasn't a thing. Like he missed it by a day.
Damn.
And so I think it's all just bad timing. And also, like, honestly, like, the person I feel the most upset before is Henry Cavill, just off like this whole ordeal of being jerked around back and forth basically seemingly cost him 2 jobs.
Right, because that's the thing. It's like I know the Witcher thing wasn't solely because he got the Superman job. It was kind of around like he didn't like where it was going because Henry Cavill's a super nerd. For people that don't know,
Right.
the man's a really big fucking nerd. The fact that the man is as pretty as he is a Christmas miracle. Because if he wasn't that pretty, he would look like a piece of shit loser if anyone did. Man plays World of Warcraft. He plays Alliance. I don't like him very much. Whatever. But like, so he was very into the books and like he didn't like the way the direction The Witcher was going. It's weird to quit The Witcher considering I would only assume there'd be a couple more seasons left. Like what, they just finished season 3? So there would have
Yeah.
been what? They were going for 5, I believe. So
5 to 7, I can't remember, but yeah.
if it was 7, I can understand not want to do all of that. But like, I don't know. Sit for 2 more. Netflix never finishes a season or show anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, to go and like quit that and like you're getting Superman role, like obviously Warner Brothers is paying way more than Netflix is. And then you do that,
Right.
and then like actually
Sorry. That as they're handing him the cape, they got one hand on it still. It's like, oh, wait a minute. Gonna need
The
that one
way
back.
I would be at Netflix headquarters the very next morning, 8 a.m. sharp, and being like, "Hey guys, so I know you like Liam, but like, can you like him less so that I
Right,
can?"
right. And, like, we all know, like, he's not going back to The Witcher. There's no way. Liam has probably already signed a contract and everything, I would imagine. Like, I don't know how that all works, but it would just seem granted, like, I don't know how professional it was for DC to do what they did, but
Right.
I don't think it would be professional for Netflix to throw Liam out just because, the OG guy is available.
But no offense to Liam, they should, because I will
Yes, they should.
guarantee you this is going to cancel that show. I would not be surprised
Probably.
if the show doesn't even get filmed with Liam in it before it gets canceled.
Right,
Considering Netflix is
right,
notorious for canceling shows that even do well, a show like
right.
this is not gonna it's not gonna garner the attention that it did anymore, and that's just disappointing.
Yeah, and so I think that's mostly what sucks is that he never got a chance to do potentially the best Superman movie ever. We still have not surpassed, in my opinion, the Christopher Reeve OG Superman movies. Man of Steel's close for me, but it's still not quite there.
It'd be better if it had more color in it.
Yeah. I think maybe we almost had a shot here and now it's gone. And I would say, like, at this point, like, because me, I'm kind of pissed in the sense that a lot of other info has come out where it's looks like Gal Gadot's out, as well, and to the point where actually this came out like what yesterday, of how both Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot's cameos in the Flash movie are going to be cut,
Oh damn!
so we're not going to see them in that, and so it looks like they're all out. Momoa's Aquaman 2 is probably the last we'll see him as Aquaman, and so I'm mostly upset just because James Gunn, your Superman movie needs to be amazing now.
Right.
It cannot be mid.
If you cut out Henry Cavill and then make a fucking 65% Superman
Yeah,
movie, even if it's 75%, I feel like it's got to be 9 out of 10, make over $1 billion in order for it to be anything worth, or you're just gonna get trashed. Like the court of
exactly.
opinion is gonna ruin you.
Especially if it's like, this is seemingly the only thing he's confirmed to be working on, so this might be the very first thing in his new DC universe, so it's
Right.
like, you have to get this right.
I wonder how long it's gonna take him. Like after doing all this and cutting so much like Fleck, I wonder if it feel like still takes him 3 years to make his first movie under this new like I don't want to say new
It
world
seems
order,
that
but
way.
like 2025 feels like way too long after cutting a lot of stuff that was gonna come out this next year. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
and I
exactly.
feel like that might have been a bad idea, but I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
have the answers for that.
Yeah, I don't know either. But, that and just, like, if the rumors are true about Momoa coming back as Lobo, a different DC character, I'm also gonna be upset about that. Not, like, good for Momoa, but it's just like, if it's purely on he just needed a younger Superman, I understand that. But if it's not just that, I feel like it's way more confusing for the audience to have Jason Momoa come back as a completely different character than to have Henry Cavill be a Superman that's like a reboot, but it's still the same actor. I feel like that's way less confusing.
Right.
I don't
I
know.
agree with you 100%. Like we could just say he's 25 and call it a day. Like who cares? But yeah, Jason
Right.
Momoa showing up as another random Oriental man.
Yeah,
Uh,
I feel like people are gonna be like, "Wait, I thought that was Aquaman. What's happening in
yeah,
this? What?" So I don't know. They got a lot of shit to do. Other things. This is like on all of James Gunn's tweets. He said how he wants Ben Affleck to direct a DC movie, which I'm on board for that. I always wanted that he was going to direct and star in his Batman solo movie. I wish that was still a thing.
he's
That
directed
never came to
at least one movie that he's also starred in. Right? I can't remember what it was.
Argo.
Argo.
He's
Okay.
done multiple things. Argo. What's the town, which is a fantastic movie.
Because I feel like he won an award for one of them, and that's why I remember. Like Ben Affleck's actually like a award-winning director now.
Oh yeah. I think he won for Argo. I can't remember though. It might have been writing because he also wrote, I believe,
Oh,
Argo.
look at my guy, multi-talented, very
He's
depressed.
great. He just yeah, yeah, for real. Maybe now that he's happy with J-Lo, he'll be better. And then other things, this is from Patty Jenkins tweeted this out about how she was not like she didn't walk away from Wonder Woman as like previous reports have said. She kind of seemingly is getting kicked out.
Oh, and then it's like going back to Rogue Squadron. Wait, I thought
Yeah.
that movie got trashed. That wasn't even on ice. They got fully dumpstered. What?
That's what everyone kind of thought too, but I don't know because she apparently that was put on hold slash ice slash canceled because of her commitment to Wonder Woman 3, which is why she's saying she's back to Rick's watching. I still don't believe we'll see that movie ever. I
It's a
don't know.
Disney Plus exclusive. What's gonna happen with that one?
Oh
That's what's
no.
gonna happen.
Gonna have a shit budget. No.
Yeah, it's gonna turn into a 18 episode TV show.
Oh God, no, please. Yeah, so a lot of just so much drama in DC's universe right now.
It's funny because, like, in an attempt to try to put it all in a bag neatly, it's just all over the floor, even worse than it was before. Like,
Yeah,
and I
basically.
think the biggest issue comes from the fact that they were just trying to scrap too many things that were too far in development. I think some
Right.
shit you just had to let come out and just let it be like Batgirl, stuff like that. I still don't even know if the Flash is gonna actually come out. We keep talking about it, but I still haven't seen a trailer for it, and it's currently December. It's supposed to come out in June. Like, all
Yeah.
this shit doesn't make any
And
sense.
that's
Like,
the thing. It's like all of this stuff you're canceling, and yet you're still keeping the Flash.
the worst thing you could have kept. If you were gonna cancel anything, it should have been the one that was attached to so much fucking shit. But then
Yeah,
Henry Cavill can't be
exactly.
Superman anymore. Ben Affleck can't be Batman anymore. But Ezra Miller can continue to be the Flash despite the fact that they
Yeah.
did the worst possible shit you could possibly. It's wild.
Yep.
Whole thing is wild.
Yeah. I mean, Grant James Gunn did say, and Henry Cavill confirmed that, like they in their conversations that they talked about potential futures with them in DC, and so maybe he comes back as an alternate Superman or a completely different character. I'm honestly hoping, because this is also rumored a while ago, that Marvel snatches him up for something, because I feel like they would absolutely do that.
I know they were talking about him being a villain. I can't remember what the villain they said they wanted him to be, but I know there's been some talk about that.
Something in the Thunderbolts, like
Yeah.
a very Superman-esque character that the
Mhm.
Thunderbolts have to take down, type of thing, which I could totally see them doing, and I hope he does it and gets
Right.
all the money.
Pull a James Gunn.
Yeah,
Get
basically.
your bag, bro.
My question is, since James Gunn has control, does this mean he's canceling his own show of Peacemaker? Because if he doesn't, I'm gonna be mad, but it's also very funny.
There's two things James Gunn's gonna do. He's gonna write his own TV shows and gonna keep them on. He's gonna
Right.
put his wife in everything he possibly can.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, because like that cancels his own Suicide Squad movie from this universe. Is like, is that like canon? Like, I don't know. I don't know. It is what it is. I'm sure we'll see more of this news just kind of spill out like a fucking oil drill explosion in the Gulf of Mexico.
Oh
It's
god.
all just everywhere. But that's it for now. Moving on to the next piece of news. Speaking of Henry Cavill, things are looking up already for him.
We were so sad they lost two jobs, but he gained another one, and again, it's something that he loves very dearly.
Yeah.
Once again, Henry Cavill's a fucking nerd. He is gonna be starring and also executive producer, I believe, in
Yeah.
Warhammer 40,000. It's gonna be an Amazon series that he's gonna be in. I know very little about Warhammer. Sometimes it's about painting little figures in your house like a weirdo. Sometimes it's about playing RTS with your friends on video games. Sometimes it's about space. Sometimes it's about World of Warcraft esque adjacent things. I don't know. It's like old school nerd
Yeah.
shit for me. So I don't. It doesn't.
I don't know much either.
But I know he loves it. He paints the miniatures himself. So I know he's very passionate about that project. So that's good for him. I feel like he keeps being adjacent to passion projects, but not exactly getting his way with them. So
Right, right.
this sounds interesting in the fact that he might actually be able to put his 2 cents, because I don't know anyone else that knows as much as this man does when it comes to that. That's like in the limelight.
Right, exactly, and considering he's also a producer on it as well, like, that would give him a little more pull
Right. Is he an
as well.
executive producer or like an actual producer? Like, is he just throwing money at it or?
He is set to star and executive
Oh, okay.
produce,
Yeah.
so, yeah. I only know, like, Warhammer from these, like, cutscenes and stuff, in which case I'm like, "What the fuck is the budget on this shit gonna be?"
You think Amazon's gonna throw another billion at this? Because this can't be the
I
same as
mean,
Lord of the Rings. No way that people there's
they're gonna have
that
to
big of a
throw $1 billion
demographic.
just at Henry Cavill.
I just think about like Lord of the Rings and how much of a pull that has and how much money they spent on that, and then it being like, okay, I don't even know if they made a profit on that. I'd be interested to see the numbers when it comes
I
to
don't
it.
know how profits work on any TV shows,
Right.
though.
Exactly right. And especially now we have streaming services where people are just paying $3 a
Right.
month to watch your shit. But I don't know. I don't know if they'd spend that much money on this because I just don't feel like the demographics there the same way Lord of the Rings was.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'll watch it just because it's him, and if it looks interesting. But I have no other interest in this property, really.
Maybe it'll be what gets you into it. Maybe you'll start painting figures that next
Right.
year.
Right. Right. But good for him. Moving on. I also wonder if, because this was also rumored that Mass Effect, potential show that was kind of rumored and shit. Maybe he'll be in it, but I don't know.
I don't want him to be fucking Shepard. That'd be so dumb.
No, but what if he's like Gareth? Gareth.
Garrus, you want to be? I don't know if he has the voice. The
Like
voice.
you hire Henry Cavill, but then you cover his face up with a bunch of shit.
I don't know. I love the voice actor for Garrus so much. I know they're not going to do it, but I'd rather them keep the voice actor for
Nah,
that character. But it's fine.
that's fair.
It's
That's
whatever.
fair enough.
I'd
Yeah.
love to see a show with that.
Speaking of Amazon, continuing with that, God of War live action series has actually fully been announced for Amazon Prime. Okay. Again, the budget. What the fuck is the budget on this shit
That's
gonna
gotta be high
be?
budget. There's no way they can skip on that. It's gonna be at least Halo budget level.
Oh, I hope it's more than that. But yeah.
Halo didn't like the assets that weren't the CG was the worst part, unfortunately.
Right. Which is what I would only be worried about.
Right, which I mean, unfortunately seems to be kind of a thing right now where just all CG kind of sucks. I don't know why the 2000s is the peak of CG and everything after that is just bad.
Bro, wait till you see Avatar. You ain't gonna say that
I
after
mean,
that.
that's yeah, man's bankrupt because of it. So
But yeah, no, yeah, exactly. The biggest thing that I noticed, and I'm not surprised by this, but I do have questions, is that they are going to start and focus solely on the Norse mythology story, which is Kratos and his son.
that's a little disappointing. I get why they're doing it because that's what's in everyone's forefront right now. And they're trying to catch the biggest audience they can. But I feel like that's such a
Yeah,
disappointment for the fans of God of War because there's just so much rich
right.
like mythology before then. I mean, Greek mythology is most people's most interesting mythology that they're into.
Right. I mean, for me, it's also like I get it because he's just I don't know how you make a show about a very angry, terrible person the whole time. I would say, like, if anything, make it like kind of cram it into maybe one season of all that.
I mean,
I
and
don't
also
know.
you can take some creative liberty, like add some more like depth to the character or something, like you would for the Norse mythology stuff. Like, just try something new with it. It doesn't have to be just like 300, the fucking video
Right.
game,
Right.
which I feel like they were gonna try to do if they would have made that, but I don't know.
I mean, also minor spoilers for the recent God of War Norse stuff, listeners. So skip ahead. I feel like it not doing the Greek stuff takes away from the impact that this newer, softer dad Kratos
Right.
in this series. Like that was the whole holy shit. This is a completely different character. Amazingness, you
This is a
know.
man known for hating everyone and everything, and that was his character. Like
Right.
that was he didn't care about other people. He only cared about himself and killing gods. Like
That's like half of his character development. So if you don't do that, then I'm afraid it's just going to be another a Last of Us clone or Mandalorian clone of this is a man and a
that's
boy, you
exactly what
know?
they're doing. They just saw that that's doing well with Mandalorian, and then Last of Us, I'm sure, is going to do well as well because the HBO original. They're just like, we want to get in on that. We want to get on the dad son, dad daughter, hardened man becomes soft man trope that's pretty popular right now.
Yeah, that's the only reason I'm worried about it. Other than that, I'm still saying it. Batista for Kratos.
I agree,
I can't think of anyone else.
100%.
Let's just do it
People been
now.
saying Triple
Heck
H,
yeah.
who is not an actor, Triple H
Oh,
from
hell no.
WWE, currently
Fuck
the owner of
no.
WWE. He looks like Kratos, especially now that he's
He
bald,
does.
but he cannot act,
Yeah.
and he should not act.
No, he cannot act. No. No, 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 no. I've seen him in Blade, whatever Blade movie he was in. No. All right, next, sticking with some TV stuff. This is a weird Pokemon story in the sense that for the first time in its entire lifespan of what, 25 years, Ash is no longer going to be the protagonist of a Pokemon series.
It took 25 years and 2 tournament wins, and also meeting his father to finally put up the fucking reins and give it to somebody else.
This is like monumental. Like when I started reading this, and I guess minor spoilers, listeners, skip ahead if you don't want to know some of the storyline bits. I was actually genuinely like shocked that this is happening.
Right.
I was like, oh wow, they're actually doing
I've
this.
only known Ash. Like Pokemon's been lasting as long as One Piece has, so it's just kind of crazy that those two anime have just been concurrent for so long as those main protagonists.
Right.
Fill up their brains, and they told you who the new protagonists were going to be. It was like 2 people. And they had some I don't know weird ass names. It was a random
Yeah,
girl
I
and
don't
guy.
I don't remember.
I don't give a fuck about that. What I do give a fuck about is the fact that Pikachu got to be at least level 3000. The most over leveled
Pikachu's a
fucking
god.
yeah, the most over leveled fucking non-transformed, non-evolved Pokemon in the game by far. Because what the fuck, dude? What's going on
It's
here?
very true. Yeah, yeah.
Also, he never gave Misty her bike.
Oh, what an
Yeah,
asshole.
after he
Hey,
broke up
maybe
with
she'll ask for it back because that's what in like the trailer for so basically they're ending the show that is currently running in America and Japan called Pokemon Ultimate Journeys, the series. But he's also getting like a little mini series afterwards next year.
Oh,
That's gonna kind of cap his story off. And there was a trailer that showed that the return of a certain Brock and Misty as
ooh.
well. So I'm certain there's gonna be a lot of cool like callbacks and cameos and whatnot. And just because the last episode of the series, not the his little mini series, but the last episode of the series aired in Japan already, and so people are already talking about these big leaks that are happening. I won't go into spoilers for it because there are people that probably actually want to watch it for themselves whenever it hits America. But there's some emotional shit and callbacks that is kind of nuts that they're doing, and, yeah, it does feel like the end of a weird era.
A very long era, but still an era for sure.
A very, very long era. But yeah, alright. Couple quick teasers slash trailers to talk about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I don't really have much to say because this trailer was like, it was good, it was emotional, I like the things his mom was saying. Obviously, a shit ton of spider people are in it, but I was just like, "Oh, yeah. Okay, well, it's a lot more Spider-Man."
More of that. Gonna be amazing. Can't wait.
Yeah, I don't think this movie can be bad at all. I think it's the easiest, grab at a good movie. Next thing, last piece of news. This one's just funny. The teaser trailer for the Barbie movie with starring Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling, and I didn't know this, but Simu Liu's in it as well, which is kinda cool. Good for him. It's a play off the space 2001: A Space Odyssey trailer, but it's a giant, Margot Robbie, which is very funny. Ryan Gosling looks ridiculous, and I can't wait.
And also, Margot Robbie was supposed to originally be played by Amy Schumer.
Which you just told me about, which that would have been a very different movie, I feel.
And she admitted, she was like, I wasn't the right person for this role, so that's why I stepped down from it. I'm like, yes, Queen, I agree with you 100%. That was a
Right.
bad idea.
Just the humor would have been so different, I feel, if she was with this character.
Right.
Interesting, though. Can't believe we're getting a Barbie movie, but
I-
I don't know what's going on. Is it like living in a Barbie world, or is this like a girl that's in our world that thinks she's adult? I don't know. I
I
don't
didn't know about this movie until like 48 hours ago, and
know.
that's cool, I guess.
Oh, that's funny. I'm actually looking forward to this, but I also love Margot Robbie, and Ryan Gosling is very funny. All right, that's the news, everyone. Brian, shall we now get into our main topic of the week?
Let's fucking go.
But first, listeners, we are trapped in another fortress. This is a fortress where, we've been here last year. We did it as our return from break, but this time we're switching it up and we're gonna end it because basically everything's out this year. It's our time again for the best of 2022 quote unquote awards because those are a thing for that we're doing right now. The Fourtress of Awards, or the FOAs as we called them last year,
Oh,
which is still a terrible name.
did we call them that? Huh? I'd like a revision, please.
I don't think you liked it then, so you don't like it now.
Hell yeah, brother, consistency.
Yeah, so we're just gonna kind of take a look back at the past year, the year of 2022, and just kind of talk about like our best movies, best video games, worst movies, worst video games, and also just kind of other fun things that we are fond of and are disgusted by in the past year. Let's just start with the big, obvious ones. Best movie of the year. Brian, do you want to take a swing at what was your best or favorite movie of the year?
Is it obvious what the best or favorite movie of the year?
I'm
be?
wondering if we have the same thing.
I mean, I'm gonna shoot right out the gates. We got motherfucker jumping out of planes just to say thank you and just doing crazy shit. It's
Yes,
obviously Top Gun Maverick without
hell
question.
yeah.
I don't even give a fuck about Top Gun. I didn't even see Top Gun until maybe 3 years ago, if even that long.
Right.
So I came into this movie expecting nothing, a nothing sandwich of just Tom Cruise being way too sexually motivated for no reason. This movie was damn near perfect. And
Oh my god.
in a world of so many Marvel movies and things like that just kind of fell flat. The pacing of this movie was great. The what they talked about was great. Just everything that happened was just the effects, just everything that happened in that movie was just so clean and polished, and just that's a damn good movie. Like, that is just how you make it. Knows exactly what it wants to be. It doesn't stray too far
Right.
from anything. It's not too long. It's just, I came into that movie like, I don't give a fuck about this. I don't give a shit. And I walked out of that movie yelling. Like, I was fucking hype.
I was in the danger zone at the end of this movie.
It was just
man. Hell
me
yeah.
and 300 white men with their t-shirts tucked into their jeans, just fucking going wild in that movie. And I never expected that to happen.
Yeah, my number one movie. It was tough. I will admit right now, Avatar is my number 2 I put on there. But I have to give it to Top Gun Maverick just because, like you said, like not even that I had a low bar, but I just kind of had like no bar. I was like, okay, it's a Top Gun, or Tom Cruise movie. This should maybe be like fun and entertaining. I did not expect it to be as fucking good and tense and just like, oh my, edge of your seat.
It had
shit.
no business being as good as it was. I think that's the funniest thing about
No.
it.
And yeah, it was fucking incredible. I mean, obviously, like we make fun of like the plot is Star Wars throughout most of this, but like it's a damn good Star Wars movie. Yeah, so it's easily my favorite. I said Avatar number 2. I will have to also give credit to Everything Everywhere All at Once. That movie is fantastic. Everyone should check that movie out. Obviously, no Marvel. Black Panther is probably my number 4, I would
I would say
say.
that'd be the closest one for me. And
Yeah.
I think if the third act was stronger, I would have definitely put that higher because I did think that was an
Yeah.
incredible movie until it wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So there you go. Top Gun Maverick, man. Like out of nowhere.
I don't
God
know. I
damn.
almost didn't go see that movie, and I'm really glad I did.
Yeah, me too. Let's move on. Let's just keep the ball rolling. Best TV show. I'll take a crack at this one. Much like our show, where we don't follow the rules of anything, these awards don't follow the rules ever.
Uh-oh.
Because my TV show is technically not a show. It came out this year.
Huh?
It came out in 2022, but it's not the entire thing that I've seen. So this show came out a long time ago,
Oh
but
no.
I only caught up to the entire thing this year.
No, this isn't right. No, I hate it. Okay, do your thing. You're
No,
already
but
cheating. It's fine.
I think you're gonna love my answer though.
Okay.
Because my number 1, I had no choice. It's gotta be Attack on Titan, dude. I got no choice.
A season did
I
come
have
out
no
this
choice.
year, to be fair.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
yeah.
we'll allow it.
But I had the benefit, obviously, I watched every episode thus far this year. So if I only watched what came out this year, probably doesn't make the list. But considering to me, it was all new in 2022. So I couldn't help it. Like I binged what, like 86
It
episodes or
was a
some
ton
crap.
of fucking
Like
Attack on Titan this year. Jesus Christ.
I couldn't get enough of it. I absolutely fucking loved it. I cannot wait for the final season, part 3, if it is the actual final part. Who knows?
It's gotta be, bro. I will say this, and I don't even care as someone that has now read the manga for the remaining volumes or whatever. Even with the ending and whatever the fuck people are gonna think about the ending for the people that have read it and the people that haven't. Even with that, I do think this is gonna go down as one of the most impactful anime of all time and manga. It's gonna be up there with Full Metal Alchemist, with Death Note, Dragon Ball, like all those. It's gonna be a classic anime from now on. Even to this day, like watching other anime, like shonen anime especially, that's basically just anime for 14-year-old boys. This is just different. Like I watched Demon Slayer after this, and it just didn't even hit because of how it reminded me the same way that Last of Us came out, similarly like the same time that Tomb Raider came out. And Tomb Raider is a really good game, but Last of Us had such a
Right.
hold on you that it just made that game look worse. And I
Yeah.
would say the same thing. Like Attack on Titan made other anime that came out that year just look worse. And that's why I just know it's such a good anime because like fuck, like look at everyone should watch it. I don't care if you like it or not. Everyone should watch it. Like
Yeah, absolutely. Cause like for like me, like having known very little about it, it surprised the fuck out of
mm,
me as it continued to go on. I was like, this show is deep. Like there are deep philosophical elements in this show that I did not see coming.
yeah.
And I could not have guessed in a million tries.
Yeah, the less you know going into it, I feel like the better because it is
Absolutely.
so weird and so awkward, but just so good.
Absolutely. I have to shout out my other options. Obviously, Better Call Saul, phenomenal show. Andor, can't not recommend it more. Also, other things, Pam and Tommy. I forgot that came out this year. I really dug that
No,
little
we can't
miniseries.
like that show because Pam was like, no.
It's true. It's very true, and it's upsetting. Yeah, I get it though. Rings of Power, House of the Dragon. I'm sure those will come out into conversation later. FCC. I think my favorite Marvel show was probably She-Hulk. To be honest,
I would
that
agree.
was probably my
I think
favorite out of
my
those.
favorite Marvel.
I forgot The Boys came out. Season 3 of The Boys came out.
Oh
That was a
shit.
great fucking season of TV.
Yeah. Yeah,
And the Cuphead Show season 2 and 3, and then Peacemaker, as you reminded me before we started
yeah.
recording, because I forgot.
That was something that totally came up, which is wild.
Yeah, nuts. So much TV.
Yeah, for me, House of the Dragon was probably going to be my number one, just because that was another one
Mm,
that stuck in my head. I don't necessarily think it was the greatest written show of all time by any means,
right.
but just seeing Game of Thrones kind of like in its place again after like Game of Thrones has the funniest like lifetime of I think any show of all time because like it is considered for the longest time, it was the highest rated show of all time ever, like during that time. And then the
Yeah,
fact that
man.
it went from everyone talking to you, like it was annoying how much people wanted to talk about Game of Thrones. And then as soon as it ended, you never heard anything about it ever again because the
It was a
ending
sad
was
ending.
so fucking bad for so many people that show just almost was like it
Yeah,
never existed. Yet Harry Potter exists and we still talk about that, 20 years later. This
right.
show died very sadly with no one at the funeral. But then House of the Dragon came and it just really scratched that itch again of just being pure soap opera drama. Like
Yeah, yeah.
George R. R. Martin knows how to write some fucking drama, and I think these writers have done a very good job of definitely putting that into the I guess it's not a silver screen, but onto the screen.
Right.
I love the actors. I love Emma Darcy. I can never remember Allison's actor's name, but I think she's great. She's so funny to me.
Olivia Cook.
I think Olivia Cook, yeah. It was Matt Smith.
Matt Smith kills it,
One of the
man.
ugliest
Yeah.
men I've ever seen before in my life, but man can fucking act. He is very funny looking, but dude kills it every single time. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those shows that I just find myself missing.
Right. I can't wait for season 2.
Exactly. And it sucks because like I end up fucking spoiling a lot of it for me. Also Game of Thrones spoils a lot of it as well. But
Right. Yeah.
even then I'm still excited to see how things happen next and what the way
Absolutely.
they show it.
House of the Dragon's definitely gonna come up later for me. Don't worry.
Oh no, oh no. Yeah, so I don't think I said any honorable mentions when it came down to it.
No.
Nothing really crazy. She-Hulk was good.
Yeah.
That would probably be one of like my top 5 probably this year.
It's hard to compare the dramatic with the comedic
Exactly.
stuff. It's,
Exactly.
You know. All right, let's switch it up. Let's continue with best video game, which man, there's no question for me. It's fucking God of War Ragnarok, dude. Like I can't stop thinking about this game and how the more I think about it and the more I listen to other people talk about it and listen, it makes me love it even more. Like I just recently was listening to a podcast, like a spoiler cast about it, and I learned something that I completely missed after playing it, and I just added another element of, oh, holy shit, that's so nuts and amazing, and I love this game even more. I can't get enough of this game. I definitely think at this point I love this more than the 2018 one.
That's crazy. Because it's so hard to make a sequel that's actually fundamentally better than I think the
Yeah.
only other game that I can think about just offhand is gonna be Last of Us 2. I know people have issues with the
Right.
story, but I just think that like if you could just really make a sequel that much better than the original game and like even
Yeah.
still like sticking your head stronger, I think you've really done something special.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've talked about it enough, so yeah, God of War Ragnarok, man. Shout out to Horizon Forbidden West. You need some love.
Another game that just doesn't get enough love, unfortunately, because it just comes out at the wrong time. Yeah, I'll play God of War Ragnarok in 3 years when it comes out on PC and is also less than $80. For me, it's hard set. I know people would think that my obvious choice would be Stray, but when it comes down
Uh-oh.
to it, I actually want to throw a curveball and talk about Disney Dreamlight Valley.
Oh shit. Oh,
That was a
shit.
game that kind of like Top Gun Maverick just fucking came out of nowhere. And I almost saw it just like the same way I almost saw Top Gun Maverick just based on, for the meme, for the culture. I downloaded Dreamlight Valley because I was just like, this is a fucking stupid ass game about Disney. I'm not a Disney adult. This is gonna interest me at all. I don't give a fuck about Mickey Mouse. And then I put probably over 100 hours into that game at least.
God damn.
Let me see. I can probably actually look and see if it'll tell me. I don't actually want to tell you how long. Some of this has been AFK time that I wasn't actually at the computer. And I probably just left it open. But it is multiple days that I've put into that game.
God damn.
Decorating my little fucking island and stuff. It's basically like to call it just an Animal Crossing remake is such a disrespect to the game as a whole. Because that game actually has a story and quest that you do, and then collection, and then all you can do the farming and all that kind of stuff. Like, I hate Reddit with my whole being. I think Reddit is a terrible website, and anyone that's a Redditor, anyone that calls himself a Redditor, I like you less. I'm sorry. It's nothing about you personally. I just gross. That fucking game had me on Reddit hanging out with the venture capitalist girlies trying to figure out how to fucking make the most money I could in the game. I ain't never done that before, but I'm over here like, well, how do you get the most buyback when you get pumpkins and shit like that? And these fucking crypto women were coming in there because no men play this fucking game. Because why would they? Came in here and told me how to make the most money I could, and now I got a pumpkin farm where I'm making $1 million gold every single time I farm it. It's ridiculous.
He's like insider trading on Disney.
It was literally like it was crazy. The people were giving me like fucking whole ass like charts about how shit works, and I was like, "This is wild. This is a video game about hanging out with Mickey Mouse."
Right?
You would think I'm over here fucking trying to, skew the stock market right now. No, I'm just playing Mickey Mouse the video game. I fucking love that game, man. I haven't caught up with it most recently. There've been a couple updates. The game's not even still in early access, so it's technically not out
I
yet.
know, right?
God, it's so fun. Like sometimes just mindless chores, kind of Sims adjacent kind of games, just hit a certain thing that you just don't know that you need at the time.
Right.
And in a world with epic games that are 60 hours or giant narrative like God of War, sometimes you just gotta fucking break out your shovel and pick some pumpkins.
Absolutely, man. I love the idea that Disney Dreamlight Valley is the Top Gun Maverick of
It's
video
the Top
games
Gun
this year.
Maverick, dude, because it was a sleeper hit for no reason. It had no business being as good as it was. It's It's crazy.
Oh, that's so good. That's so amazing. I might, man, maybe when this game finally comes out and it's free to play, I will finally check this out.
Listen, once it's free to play, there's literally nothing to lose.
Right. Yo, yeah, absolutely. Except more of my
Yeah,
life
that's
and
true.
time.
The time that we don't have but so much of it because life is fleeting. But other than that, it's fine.
But yeah, I know. Like, I know this is a very wildly popular game. I already know Jackie wants it at some point. She was like, "I want this." I was like, "I honestly don't know how to buy this game, so you can ask someone else to get it." But that's awesome. That's amazing. All right, let's move on to some worse stuff because we got to get the worst shit
Oh
out of the
no.
way. My worst movie. I was torn. You know what? I'm gonna switch things up.
Uh-oh.
Actually, I'm switching it up on the fly. I had this listed as number 3. I'm gonna make it my number 1. It's gonna be Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore,
I
dude.
can't believe
The
you
third
watched that.
Fantastic Beasts
As
movie.
soon as I saw the reviews come out, I was like, absolutely not.
It finally hit HBO Max. I was like, all right, now I can watch it, whatever. And man, it's just kind of boring. It's a big kind of disappointment in the sense that it's like I really love the first one. The second one I think is pretty fucking boring, and this one was also pretty damn boring to the point where I was like in the third act, not realizing it was the third act. I was like, "Oh, we're done. This is it."
This was the one with the big Dumbledore fight, right? That everyone's been wanting to see on the big screen forever. And then they just became two people shooting beams at each other.
I guess so.
Yeah, I just remember
Yeah.
that was a big thing that people were super disappointed because this was like the fight of the century. It's barely been like written. It was kind of like a Lord of the Rings thing. Where it's like it's something that people wanted
Yeah.
to see for so long, and they finally put it on the screen. It's like, oh,
And it's like, "Oh, okay. Well, all
you
right."
you just gave it to a CG crew from China, and that was what you did with it. Like, okay,
Yeah. I mean, obviously there's a lot of like background drama with Johnny Depp and also JK Rowling and all that shit. And I think a lot of that took its toll on this movie.
yeah,
And it's just like it feels incomplete and complete at the same time. Like you could end it here, which they are, I'm assuming. I don't think they're making the fourth and fifth one like they wanted to. And it just feels like a big this should also honestly should also be my disappointment. The only reason it's not my biggest disappointment is because the second one was bad. I didn't expect it much.
you're
So I wasn't that disappointed. The one I will say that was my number 1 before I switched it just now was Morbius.
right.
And the only reason it Fantastic Beasts just jumped it was I expected way worse from Morbius and got just okay
I was
movie.
about to say that was one of those movies that when I actually watched it, I was so down ridiculous on how awful it was gonna be that I was like, oh, maybe we gave this too hard of a time.
It's just a
I've
movie.
seen much worse. Jared Leto is not. I'm not his biggest fan by any means, but yeah, I mean it was fine.
He's not the worst part of that movie.
By far, for better or
Like
worse.
it's just I was just like, you know what? That wasn't a total waste of 90 minutes of my life.
Now I won't go that far. I definitely did waste my time, but
I mean, I wouldn't watch it
you're
again.
right. I wasn't bored, and that's my biggest thing. Is I'm fine with a bad movie if it
Right.
doesn't bore me. A boring bad movie is the worst thing you possibly ever exists. But this movie
Exactly.
wasn't boring. It
Exactly.
was just bad.
And then my last 2 shout outs, Devin's gonna be mad at this one. The Northman. I did not really enjoy that movie that
Oh, that
much
might be your biggest
at all.
disappointment though, because Northman got crazy wild reviews. I was actually gonna watch it the other day.
Go ahead, watch it. I expected more. And also the plot, I was like, oh, it's just this. I didn't know anything about it, so I was kind of disappointed by that. Another one, I don't know if this is gonna make your list. But fucking Black Adam.
I mean, we already know.
Only reason it's not number 1 is because the action saves it from being number 1.
Was it a movie that I should have spent money on in the theaters? Absolutely not. Was it the worst movie I've ever seen in my life? Also, absolutely not. I
Exactly.
think the best thing they
Exactly.
did was not give The Rock any lines. The saving grace in the movie. Also, Pierce Brosnan did really well. It's unfortunate
He is.
you had to exist in whatever the fuck that was.
Yep.
Also,
Yep.
CG Rock might have been the worst thing I've ever seen before in my life.
That might go down as the worst effects this
Yes.
year is that CG
Yes.
Rock. Oh,
Maybe worst
God.
effects in at least 20. That was bad. That was so bad.
That was bad.
And I feel like they did it
Yeah.
purposely to be bad because it was so funny to make The Rock skinny.
Oh, yeah, that was bad. God damn, Captain America: The First Avenger looked better than
That's
that
what I'm
shit, dude.
saying, dude. That was so crazy to me. They
damn.
literally did the same thing, but better.
That movie is a decade old, man.
Ugh.
That's nuts.
So my movie that I'm gonna pick for my worst is already a straight to Hulu. So you
Uh-oh.
know it's about to be
Uh-oh.
some shit. So do you remember, Oscar? I don't know if you're not super internet on the internet like talking about. You remember the TikTok thing
Correct.
that parents of children were so scared about when that Momo character was popping up.
Oh, I don't know if I know
I
this
need you to
one.
look up Momo. It's just a really ugly
All right, hold
character
on.
that's actually just like an art exhibit. But apparently there was this character that was showing up on TikTok and telling children to kill themselves.
What the hell?
Yeah, it's funny because it's kind of the same situation of like the Halloween thing where it's like they're putting drugs in your Halloween
Oh,
candy.
why did I look that up? Oh my god, it's gonna give me
Oh, no,
nightmares,
that sounds
bro.
scary. But the thing is, like, it's not actually like a real thing. Like that wasn't actually happening. Like talking about, but
Oh
parents
god.
that aren't on the internet just thought it was happening over and over again for some reason. The same way that parents think that kids' candies are filled with edibles, which obviously not 'cause edibles are expensive. We're not gonna waste them on children. Fucking that's stupid. They made a movie based on this character, but I guess they couldn't have the rights to Momo for some reason, the name Momo. So they called it Grimcutty. I'm talking about the movie
Oh my
Grimcutty that
god.
came out in 2022, and it was one of those kind of like found footage adjacent movies that
Mm.
kind of and the storyline is so stupid because basically like the more scared you are of Grimcutty, the more damage he can do to you. So he was just going around slitting the wrist of children, and then everyone's parents kept thinking they were suicidal, and they're like, "No, Grimcutty exists." I'm sorry, I'm giving the whole plot. If anyone wants to watch Grimcutty, please skip.
I guess spoilers for
Spoilers from
Grimcutty.
Grimcutty. If you saw it on Hulu and it's really on your list and you're waiting and I just ruined it, I'm sorry. This movie sucks. This movie, it's like a giant PSA for like listening to your children, letting them be like let teenagers be teenagers or whatever. This movie
Right.
is the fucking worst movie I've seen in a long ass time. It was boring and
Damn.
stupid and dumb. And the actual fucking they show the villain way too clearly when you know you don't have the
Uh-huh.
budget to do so. Uh, it looks like PlayStation 2 graphics every time he shows up. You can't take it
Oh
seriously.
no. What the
There's nothing
fuck?
else I can say. If you want to watch just a really, really stupid slasher film that's also Project X, where just children are getting drunk and having sex, that's all it is. It's
Mm.
90 minutes of your life
Oh my
wasted.
god, I just watched this trailer. That looked
It
terrible.
is, it is, it is bad. I can't even compare it to anything.
It looks like a Titan.
Honestly, yeah, with the mouth and stuff,
Yeah.
it's rough. I don't know why I watched that movie, but it was just pure, I don't know, curiosity.
That's nuts. No, I had no idea about
Morbius
that
was better than
trend. What
this.
the fuck? That's a good they should put
It
that on the
reminds me of
box for
that movie
Morbius.
Karen that I watched.
I honestly thought that's what you were gonna talk about just
But
now.
that came out in 2020, I'm pretty sure, to be fair. But
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Very nice, very nice. All right. I only got one worst video game that I could think of, and it's a video game that also didn't come out this year, but it's a game that had some free DLC, and it's just more of the Avengers game. That game, oh man, why do I continue to try to give this game hope?
Didn't they just release Black Panther recently? Like as if that game is still being played by anybody?
No, they just released the Winter
Winter Soldier,
Soldier.
yeah.
And let me tell you, when this is how I'm just like, what are y'all doing? When I booted the game up, it's like it doesn't tell you how to get to Winter Soldier. It's massively glitched where the point where like I doing what I'm supposed to start this whatever story of Winter Soldier, and the cutscenes are all glitched. They don't start sometimes, and sometimes when they end, nothing happens. So I have to restart the game and hope
Oh
that
no.
something. It's just like,
Unfinished.
yeah, it's like, what are you guys doing? And also, it's a bigger disappointment because apparently it was supposed to be She-Hulk that was the new character, but
Oh
then
no.
they swapped She-Hulk for Winter Soldier, and maybe they'll do She-Hulk later next year. But I'm like, how did that's just missed opportunities. How did you not release Winter Soldier or She-Hulk with the show? Like, how did you fuck that
You can
up?
tell they don't actually care about the game anymore. Like the fact they even try to release anything is wild to
Just
me.
kill it
Yeah.
at this point. Like, stop it. Just end it and kill it, please, and do something else or start over and make a completely different game. But like, you got like Destiny. Go to Destiny 2 after the lessons you've learned from the first Destiny. And Destiny 2 has just been going on. I
Yep.
don't know if we'll get a Destiny 3. It just seems like they're just going to continue with Destiny 2 forever. Do that, Avengers. Make an Avengers 2. Fix your shit. Like, come
I mean,
on.
that game was well loved. I mean, another great example is Final Fantasy 14. Original Final Fantasy 14 was awful. Everyone hated it. And then they
Right.
literally nuked the game in the actual game. They made it part of the storyline and then remade it. And now that's one of the most beloved games of all time. Like, you have opportunities here to either save it or kill it, but you got to do one or the other. Like, trying to, like,
Yeah.
bleed it for whatever you're trying to bleed it for is just not doing anything for you. There's no way it's
This
making any
half-ass
money.
shit. I don't give it any money.
Right. And you would probably be the biggest, like, lover of the game of everybody that's existed
Yeah.
so far. So I don't.
Hell no. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that plays it. So.
Right, that's another thing. For me, it's kind of funny because it's a little bit of a toss up, but there was a little saving grace towards the end for the other game that I was thinking about. But I'm gonna go ahead and say Scorn as my Worst game of the
Ah,
year, which is so sad because artistically, it is one of the pretty is the wrong word for this because it's a disgusting looking game. Everything looks very disgusting, but it's like of the Geiger art style. It makes sense for it to look so
yes,
disgusting. And I know I didn't care about this game. This just popped up on Game Pass, and I downloaded it because it's an ugly looking game. I was like, sure, why not? It's free for me.
right.
Apparently, this is a game that was like produced over the past 10 years or something. Like, this is a game that everyone's been waiting for and like with bated breath for the longest time. This game looks great. It is the most boring game I have played this year by far. It is just stupid puzzles and maybe some of the worst fucking gunplay I've ever seen in a game. I did not enjoy it at all. It
Oof,
was a good
that
waste of
sucks.
5 hours of my time, and I
Damn,
just
damn.
did not enjoy it at all. But I'm a kind of
That's a
person that has
bummer.
to finish things that I start.
I was about to say, did you finish it?
Yeah, I did end up finishing it.
Oh wow, okay.
Couldn't
Damn.
tell you what the story is. Fucking, I don't know what the fuck I was doing. I don't know. I was just controlling fucking weird ass dudes and putting my hands in bussy holes. That
Right,
was the entire game for
right.
me. So that was that. So I hate when people put a lot of time into something and it just ends up being mid as fuck. For me, less than mid. So that sucks for the
Right.
people that created it. I'm sorry that you guys put that much hard work. Hopefully it was hard work. If it wasn't hard work, fuck you.
It's like
Uh,
the Black Adam of video games.
yes, honestly, that is a great way to put it. To be honest, too much hype for too little.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
second was gonna be, which is another one where it's like it didn't come out in 2022, but it's worth talking about because it's had one of the worst years until very recently, and that was
Uh.
Halo Infinite.
Oh, oh
Halo
no.
Infinite has been struggling to get it to fucking together over the past year, especially this game came out in pre-released November
Right.
2021. The game came out. They just didn't want to call it full release because they know they hadn't finished the game yet because they're pieces of shit. This game has struggled. This game has struggled so badly. And a lot of it's come because they want to make another games as a service game, but the fundamental game was broken. The fundamental game wasn't finished. In 2022, they had guaranteed us to have Forge. That's the big thing. We get to make your own maps and stuff like that. A huge part of Halo since Halo 3. They also had like multiplayer. It was supposed to have, split screen co-op. So that got canned. Forge is just now coming out like last month. Everything has just been going wrong. They're trying to do games as a service, and currently we're still waiting on season 3. Season 2 started in February, I believe, of this year, and is not coming out till March of next year, the next season.
Holy
Whereas
shit.
in comparison, Fortnite puts out a new season about every 3 months.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man. Sorry, Master Chief. But you'll come back into the sunlight one day. I don't really have a worst TV show, but I have a show that I heard was bad, but you also said it was not decent, and all I had was Resident Evil.
I had Resident Evil as well. Uh, that show was atrocious. It was so bad. It didn't make any sense. It put characters that are from the actual universe of Resident Evil and then did not do them justice or even tell the story correctly. The whole thing was a mess. It got goofy randomly. It got really fucking weird. It was a
Uh,
mess, and it also got canceled. It will not be coming
yeah.
back for season 2, as
Well,
it
there
should
you
not.
go.
It's the worst thing. What's unfortunate about it is it started out as the most generic fucking zombie shooter show you've ever seen, but then
Mhm.
once it started just getting really weird with the liberties and having clones and weird ass experiments and stuff, that's when it actually was at least interesting. It wasn't good, but it was funny. Like, it was good. It was fun to laugh at. So I'm
Right,
almost kind of
right,
disappointed that it doesn't get more because I almost enjoyed it because of how stupid it got.
right.
And I want to see more of that.
That's a bummer. Yeah. I
It
mean,
was bad.
I don't know why this franchise can't I mean, I shouldn't say can't survive live action. It had like 18 movies or whatever.
Right. And apparently at least one of them was good. I can't remember which one. I couldn't tell you which one it was, but
At
I've seen the
least
bad ones before.
one.
But
Oh
yeah,
man.
it's sad because Resident Evil 8 was such a great game that was so well
Right.
received. And then on top of that, you just make the worst uninspired TV show to follow it. Just didn't fit well.
That sucks. Let's quickly rattle some of these. Biggest surprise for me, my number one. I don't think I've talked about this on the podcast, but for some reason, I think I just missed it as my free for all. It's Uncharted. The Tom Holland Uncharted movie was my biggest
Huh?
surprise. I
Surprise
know
of what? That movie was boring.
that it wasn't a horrible movie for me. Like by the end of it, I was like, this is kind of fun. Like I honestly think the third act of this movie is one of the most and more creative action sequences I've seen in a while. Like I was like, this is
Okay.
genuinely kind of creative and interesting. The rest of it, I mean, I still don't think any of those actors are the right fit for the characters.
I think maybe that's as someone that hasn't played Uncharted but just kind of know of the characters. it felt like it was a fine like adventure movie, but it could have
Mhm.
instantly just been Indiana Jones. You could have stopped that on front, and it would have been the same movie. If I
Yeah,
was an Uncharted fan, I don't think I would have enjoyed this. But like, I was like, okay, I mean, this is something with A-list actors that have a little adventure, a little romp around. That's
yeah.
fine, and that was kind of where it left with me. Like, I couldn't
Like,
tell you a line from the movie.
oh, no, I can't either, but, like, I would say, like, it has all the elements of a good Uncharted movie. It's got the quips, it's got the set pieces, it's got the globe trotting, it's got the puzzles in there. It's just that it's a weird Tom Holland voice he's doing, and, that's the only thing. It's just missing something from all of the actors
Mhm.
that it's not nailing the characters there, but it's got all the pieces, which is probably why it's like, that was the only gripe and slightly disappointing, but everything else I was like, this shit worked as, like, just like a fun romp. Like, I didn't expect it to be amazing because I heard it wasn't that great, but then by the end of it, I was like, there's a couple moments in this where I was like, "This is genuinely fun for me," and I could see someone having fun with this as just like an adventure flick type of thing. And they did at one point, they incorporated some of the actual music from the game in there, which kind of got me. I was like, "Oh, that's thank you." I liked it. Yeah. So yeah, that was my biggest surprise. Funny enough. Real quick, other things. Prey was on my list.
That was a surprise. I didn't even know that movie was gonna come out until it came out, and it was damn good.
Tales of the Jedi, surprised at how good that was for me personally. Um, Sonic 2 was
That was
on
no
there.
surprise for me. I knew that shit was gonna be great. What the fuck you mean, boy?
And then, that fucking Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers movie. I really liked
I
it.
still didn't see that, and it was so funny because I wanted to watch it, and you told me how good it was, and I forgot about it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Man, I can't believe you said Uncharted, that's so gross. For me, most surprising is obviously gonna be Stray. I was gonna put that as one of
Right.
the best games, but I just didn't. I don't know. It's one of the best games, but it just there's not much time to spend with it, and I think that's probably
Yeah.
the only drawback from it is I only even 100% again only spent about 10 hours with it, maybe max, if even that long.
Right, right.
But I saw the same fucking clip on like Instagram and IGN fucking reels of just the same cat walking over this random city for like maybe
Yeah.
4 or 5 years. It felt like of like there's gonna be a game coming out where you get to play as a cat, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then they're like, oh, it's coming out this year, and it's like, what? I've seen nothing else about this game, no trailers, no
Right,
anything. Where is this
right.
coming from? I didn't think this game was actually gonna come out. I thought it was gonna be some Unreal Engine bullshit that would be like, okay, that's fun for 12 seconds, and then I won't care
Yeah,
ever again. And ended up
yeah.
being one of my favorite games, maybe of all time, and just its impact.
Wow.
I feel like it had of because we're just you know how when it comes to games right now, just think I'm getting older, we're all getting older. We're starting to see a lot of the same shit. Like I know
Yeah.
God of War is a great narrative game and things like that. I love Last of Us 2. It's probably another one of the games that really impacted me strongly over the past maybe 5 years or so. But we're kind of hitting a weird stagnation on like especially with PlayStation dominating exclusives right now, where it's just like this is a movie. The games that we're playing that are impactful are movies where you interact with every once in a while, and then you watch more movie. Death Stranding is just a movie. There's no actual gameplay in that. That game is fucking boring as hell. Just shit like that, where it's just like I love games that do something different than that, and I think that's why indie games are so important because they'll do so many different things and different ways of storytelling. And I think Stray did a great job of that because your main character is a cat. You don't fucking talk. There's no real like there's
Right.
cutscenes, but there's no real cutscenes because you're not interacting with anything like directly like that. You're just watching the world around you. And I just think that just
Mhm.
had such a great way of storytelling where I'm not actually I am directly impacting the story, but I'm not directly interacting with the story. I'm just a cat doing some shit and then shit happens. I don't know.
Fair.
It didn't have to be as good as it was. It could have just been a game about a cat running around like any kind of platform. It could have been Ratchet and Clank. Could have been Spyro the Dragon. Probably would have
Right.
still done well. But the fact that they chose to do it the way that they did, I feel like was special.
I still need to play this game. I'll play it maybe over the holiday break. I'll pick it up or
Yeah.
something.
I just think it's a game to play for the culture. I just think it's a really just sweet game, and it did have me like getting a little emotional towards the end, just in the way that it's told the story the way it did.
Right.
That was a surprise for me. I wasn't expecting that at all.
Nice. Totally dig it. Biggest disappointment. Biggest disappointment. Flip it around. For me, after thinking about it, it's probably Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And in the sense that that movie should have been so much more than what it was.
I mean, it's fucking Sam Raimi, bro. Like, what the fuck is happening? Why that movie
Yeah,
was
like
so mid?
it's just based on, and look, we do it to ourselves with the trailers. We hype ourselves up. We hear all these like rumors and everything. And then the movie happens and it's like, oh, I thought this was the multiverse of madness, and it was not.
I think that's what fucked me up personally the most was like the visuals of like the trailer and stuff were so stunning that I was like,
Yeah.
oh, we're about to get some real shit. And then I was
Hmm.
like, oh, it's just to tell that story. Okay.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, man. The only reason, again, that this wasn't Thor was because I think I expected more from Doctor Strange than I did from the Thor movie.
Interesting. That's actually wild. I feel like Thor was another one that we like maybe were too nice to when we first talked about it. And then I think as we thought about it for long, we realized that wasn't a very good movie.
Yeah, I again should have been better, but after I saw it a second time, probably with lower expectations, I was like, this movie's not that bad. It's fine.
I think
It's all right.
70% was the perfect place to put it. I think that makes
Yeah,
sense
yeah,
for me. It wasn't a bad movie by any means. It also wasn't a good movie by any means to me.
exactly. Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
For me, you know my biggest disappointment, you reminded me of it. I actually completely forgot. So maybe it should have been my most forgettable. Goddamn motherfucking Kenobi. I was way too easy, and maybe it was just the recency bias when it came down to it. I was way too easy on this show when it came. This show fucking sucked. Narratively, this is one of the worst shows I've seen in a long ass time
Oh
because it was
damn!
nothing. It was a nothing sandwich. They put nothing in between two pieces of bread and just said, "Here's the characters you know and love. Nostalgia, nostalgia, nostalgia. Okay, bye." It affected
Oh.
almost nothing in the universe of Star Wars other than having them fight again before
Yeah,
their fight,
yeah.
30 years beforehand.
Right, right.
God, it was so fucking stupid. The effects didn't look good. I didn't like the way the
Man.
lightsabers looked. Fucking Christian, what the, I can't even think of the names. I'm so
Hayden
upset. Hayden
Christensen.
Christensen and Ian McGregor did a great job, and I think they
Yeah.
really played their characters again very well, considering it's been a long time.
Mhm.
Um, but the writing was fucking god awful. It was nothing. It was just putting them in situations that didn't make sense and doing things that didn't make sense just to make like they just. I'm pretty sure the writing room was just two people that were like, we have these cool moments we're gonna put into a show because
Right.
we like these two characters. We're playing with action figures, probably while they're talking about it, like bam, 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 and then he comes in and goes bam, and they're like, well,
Yeah.
how do we write around that? I don't know. Put a black woman in there. And then they wrote the show. And then every single story beat that led to the points that were supposed to be epic and, end up on Twitter and whatnot, which is what they made the show for. So you can just be like, did you see when
Right.
Obi-Wan did this? Useless. Useless and dumb. Everything was dumb. Nothing. It added nothing. And it didn't even make sense. It literally added more plot holes to what happens between Obi-Wan's story then and Obi-Wan's story
Mhm.
towards
Yeah,
the
right.
fourth movie plus. Hated it. Hated it. Hated it. Hated it. Hated it.
Look, I don't disagree with what you're saying. I just don't feel as strongly in the sense that from the get-go, I had always said this should have stayed a movie, and I think because of the recent trilogy and Solo, which I also don't think is a horrible movie. I kind of dig Solo. I think with the fact that box office wise and audience score wise that it was a less than what they expected, they
Mhm.
got scared. And with the success of The Mandalorian, they're like, why don't we just turn everything into a TV show? And it's like, no, don't do that. You're overcorrecting too much. This should have
Exactly.
been a movie, and I think it would have been a tight 2 hours. It would have been fucking amazing. The effects would have been better because I agree with you on that. There are times where I'm like, "This looks like a set," and I don't like that. This is supposed to be fucking space. Um, yeah, I don't disagree with you. I still, probably am seeing a bit with rose-colored glasses. I do think there are a lot of amazing moments throughout that show, but
A lot is strong considering it's only 6 episodes.
fair enough,
Because
fair
it
enough.
definitely wasn't a strong moment every episode. Yeah, no, maybe if it was a movie, maybe I would have thought completely differently about it.
Yeah.
I'm sure I would. I think a lot of it is that just it drew out for no reason, which is funny because it was
Mhm,
so short anyway.
mhm.
But it's still, even
Right.
in that 6 episodes, it's like you're just adding shit to add shit.
Exactly,
That's kind
exactly.
of sad.
All right, let's move quickly to most forgettable for me. I think I have to do this sadly. It's the Batman.
No, no.
And I think like I've kind of my feelings about the movie have kind of gotten worse as time as distance from that movie has happened in the sense that I obviously don't think it's a bad movie. I think it's a fine movie, but I do have a lot of issues with it. And maybe just because I saw Black Panther and Avatar, which is a 3 hour and 10-minute long movie, and the Batman still feels longer than both of those movies. Yeah, I completely forgot it existed until I was looking at movies that came out this year, and maybe it's also because 'cause I'm sour on DC a little bit right now. It's just
I do
like
think there's a bias there when it comes to the sourness. Maybe that's just me. 'Cause I That's one that I feel like I pretty strongly disagree with, and maybe that's just
Mhm.
me. Maybe I'm not as attached to these characters as maybe you are when it comes down to it. But I thought the
Right.
Batman was a phenomenal movie.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the better iterations of Batman if it comes down to it, especially since like Christian Bale. I mean, Ben Affleck
Yeah.
didn't really get a fair shot. Batman vs Superman fucking sucks.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
but yeah, I really like that take and how different it was compared to like what we've seen in so long.
Yeah. I think it's also just like I really liked it. I remember coming out of theater thinking it was great, but I didn't really have any interest in seeing it twice, even though I
That's
did see
fair.
it twice.
Yeah, the big
I
thing
didn't-
for me, yeah, with me, unfortunately.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, I haven't watched it since then, and the main reason is because it's so fucking goddamn long for no reason.
yeah.
That was one that I definitely felt the spacing with, and I saw Black Panther twice, and
Right.
the first time I struggled a little bit with the timing. The second time it wasn't nearly as bad for me, which I think says a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah. Yeah. A second one, Jurassic World 3. So yeah, there it is.
I forgot that movie when it came out.
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
I didn't even like Jurassic World 1 that much, and that's one of the highest grossing movies of all time, which
it sure
somehow
is.
don't understand that at all. Uh, this might actually be a sleeper one that you wasn't expecting from me.
Uh-oh.
Um, I forgot Sonic the Hedgehog 2 came out this year.
Oh my god.
I
What?
I totally have not watched that movie since I saw it in theaters, and have
Oh,
almost not thought about it despite having the DVD of it.
that.
I have had very little interest to go to like watch it a second time. I do think
Yeah.
that they did a lot of things right that they maybe should have done for the first one. I understand why they didn't do it because they were a little nervous
Mhm.
about whether or not it would land correctly. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it
That's
still
really
tells
funny.
a pretty like it still. It just sucks because there's very interesting stories in the Sonic the Hedgehog world that could be
Mhm.
told that I just know they won't because they're afraid of them not being received well.
Right.
So instead, they tell the most like generic, kind of boring story you possibly can. I
Yeah.
think they did do Knuckles pretty well, but then they
Yeah.
still ruin a lot of the lore of Knuckles and his clan and stuff like that, and that kind of annoys me. And maybe that's just me being a big fucking stupid nerd. Uh, but every time they show some fucking owl or something and be like, yeah, then the owls did that. They don't
Oh
fucking exist in the
yeah.
world. That's not a real
I
thing.
forgot about the
It's like
owls.
the Chaos Emeralds don't come from that. No, they didn't create them. That's stupid. You're literally lying to people. It's not how any of this happened. So maybe that makes me salty about it. So then I just repress the memories.
Brian standing outside of the Sonic Church with a sign that says they're lying to
They're
you.
lying to you. The Chaos Emeralds don't come from space. Fuck you. Uh, yeah, I don't
Oh,
know.
that's funny. That's so
It's
funny.
Idris Elba did a great job, all things considered.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
I just really wish they would get deep and gritty into some real Sonic lore, but
Yo, if you're looking for gritty, we might get some Shadow. It's gonna be real gritty then.
they're gonna ruin Shadow because I know they're not gonna bring Maria in there. 'Cause it's gonna be weird to have a relationship with a human, and that's a
Yep,
whole thing.
it sure would be. Yep.
Yeah, that would be BC Yep. See, yes, sir. But yeah, I kind of forgot that it came out this year.
that is fucking funny. You better be careful. Them Sonic fans are gonna take your blue card from
I was
you.
about to say, literally looking at all the fucking Sonic shit all over my yeah.
All right, these are just kind of fun ones that I thought of. Best trailer, still Black Panther: Wakanda Forever with the Kendrick Lamar coming in. Like, I thought the trailer kicked ass. That got me so hyped for this movie. Fucking
They
loved it.
mix very good music for Black Panther for sure.
Absolutely. Most uncomfortable I have ever been in my entire life, hands down. Actually, it was a tie, but it's got to go to fucking House of the Dragon. I'm sorry. It was the most uncomfortable 15 minutes of my entire life.
There's a little bit too much childbirth trauma in that show for me.
That and incest
There's yes.
and everything terrible. Yeah, hated
I
it.
felt so gaslit by that show because there was so much incest and it was not the good kind of incest, like the whole
Nope.
fucking I
Nope.
don't know, Aegon Targaryen, whatever. Oh, it's so
The
cute that he's
good
getting with
kind.
Daenerys, like whatever. People were rooting for that. This was
Still
gross.
weird.
And then I went on Twitter and everyone was like, "Yes, I love them together." I'm
Oh,
like,
I
"That
know.
is a child."
Yep, I don't like it.
You are gross. I hate you. Like,
Yep. Nope.
yeah, I hated that. That was really
I was
gross.
like, I don't care how much you like Matt Smith. Why are you rooting for this? Stop it.
Exactly. Yeah, that one upset me a whole lot.
Ugh. And then my only last thing, hands down, clearest winner of the best song, and it did not come out this year. It's "Running Up That Hill" by Kate Bush.
Oh my god. Run up the hill. Yeah, run up- No, I
Hands
can't.
down.
That's what made us famous.
It is. It is. But yeah, do you have anything else that fond memories of this past year, Brian?
Another forgettable movie would be Lightyear. That's a movie that came out.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And didn't come out in China because it was too gay. Or did it come out in China and then take out the three
They
second
cut that.
scene
They
of
cut the scene out. Yeah,
yeah,
it's real
what two
stupid.
women
Yeah,
kissing? Because oh no, we can't be
yeah.
gay.
I will say, what? Let's do one last thing. Most anticipated for 2023 right now, and it's also because it comes out in like 3.5 weeks. It's the Last of Us TV show, man. I am so psyched. I can't wait.
Interesting, interesting. I am also excited for that as well. For me, as much as I hate to give it money because this is something around a lot of problem and drama and controversy is the Hogwarts video game.
Oh yeah, I just watched like a 30-minute gameplay. I was like, this looks
I
good.
saw them riding on the broom and shit, and I was like, "Yep." And I saw them the way they treat black hairstyles is some of the best
Yeah,
black
man.
hairstyles I've seen in gaming in a long time. They don't make
Yeah.
them. They don't make them very often, but every once in a while, someone just knows how to. So it's like
Hell
sometimes
yeah.
why are they doing things right while also doing things wrong? I don't know. It's
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
The goblins are Jewish people, and we need to stop doing that. That's not okay.
yeah,
That trope
yeah.
is really
They're also
racist and really wrong.
slaves. Like,
Yeah, you're right. We gotta get away from that.
yeah.
J.K.
Ugh.
Rowling isn't exactly the best human being.
We know what she is now.
I wouldn't be surprised if she backs Kanye next week. You know what I mean?
Oh
But
no. God damn. No, I'm very sorry. That comes out real soon too,
yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah.
That's a couple months away or whatever. Yeah. All right. That is it, listeners. Winners, you will all be receiving your Mount Rushmore-esque statue in the mail featuring all four of our heads and faces very soon. If you don't call us. Shall we now, looking forward to next year, shall we now, Brian, move on to our final segment of the week?
Let's do it.
Which we like to call free for all. Title pending, listeners. This is a segment where we kind of do whatever we want. We can talk about our day. We can talk about life. Recommend something. Do whatever we want. It's just free for all. I'll quickly go first because mine's not super long. It's mostly just like what I had a very busy weekend seeing a lot of fam. Obviously, the holidays are coming around, but something occurred to me that happened this weekend that I realized will probably never happen for the rest of my life.
Oh no,
Most likely.
you got existential this weekend.
It's not really a bad thing or good. It's just it's a kind of a funny thing in the sense that I saw both my goddaughter and my godmother in the same day, purely like unexpectedly.
hmm
And I'm like, this would probably never happen ever in my life again because like I don't see them both often, let alone in the same 24 hours.
Right.
So it's just kind of a sweet thing that happened. And I was like, oh, this is fucking weird. Mostly just because when I saw my godmother, she was like, I can't believe my godson is old enough to now be a godfather. I was like, yep, that's
Yeah.
that thing. So that thing happened.
Getting older is such a weird thing.
It really is.
That's just such a high thought to just say that, but you know what I mean? Like it's hard, it's so hard to explain like why, but it's just like it's so crazy that it's like we are the age that we are, and these things are now happening to us because I don't know about you, but even at 30 years old, about to be 31, I still sometimes feel 15, and then sometimes
Right.
feel 68 in like the
Right.
same day, and it's the weirdest thing on earth where it's just like you
Yeah.
don't really grow up, you just get older.
Yeah.
Like
Especially like nowadays where it's like people look so much younger and are so much more youthful because we're knowledge and healthier and everything in every
right.
way compared to like 4 generations ago, obviously, you know?
You know, that's cute. I love that for you.
It's a good weekend. Fun stuff.
Nice. I didn't have anything nearly as sentimental as that. I just played a fucking video game. Way to ruin that. Maybe we should have ended with your nice little whatever. Uh,
No, no, no. I want to end with the raunchiness. Let's go.
oh yeah. I played now the most played game on Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass. Justin Roiland and what is it? What else makes fucking the writers of Rick and Morty? Made a video game called High in Life with Squanch Games. I'm sorry, I'm
Squanch games.
destroying this. I think they actually made the company, the game developer or whatever,
Right.
called High on Life. I
Yes.
wasn't actually like super jazzed about this game, like just as a whole, because I haven't really watched Rick and Morty's, and
Right.
so I just didn't really. But I was like, I'll play it. You know what? Why not? I haven't played a new game in a while. Why not play it day one so I can at least be in the culture when everyone else is playing it and kind of be in the conversation when it comes down to it. And I ended up beating the game. I beat it actually this morning, and
Nice.
I mean,
Oh no.
no. So it's not as bad as you think. If I was someone that has never watched like Rick and Morty, playing this game would probably solidify me personally not watching it.
Right. Right.
And I'm gonna tell you why. This sense of humor is just not for me. And this game is very
Hmm.
much based on humor. And that's a really hard thing to do. Making good humor in gaming is really difficult to do. So I give them a shout out just for even attempting to do it. It's very hard because timing is everything when it comes to comedy. And to have
Right.
timing in a video game where you're moving and running and jumping and shit is so difficult because how do you make that work? When someone, a player's gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna fucking jump at this wall. Now you missed 8 lines of dialogue, so now you don't get the joke.
What?
Like shit like that
Right.
exists. I think one of the best games to do it has been Borderlands. Borderlands 2
Mhm.
has really like nailed down to be able to make the jokes fast enough, quick enough, quippy enough that it can work in that kind of world. And being someone that loves Borderlands so much, like I really enjoy the humor of Borderlands 2 to the point that I 100% of that game. Because I thought the gameplay was amazing and I thought the humor was amazing. This game did not hit me the same way. I don't
Yeah.
think I like their writing.
And that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, if you do, this may be a really special game to you. But like, it almost got to the point where they were like recycling jokes. So this is a first-person
Mm.
shooter, based first of all, but all your guns talk to you.
Right.
They made a patch, maybe like second day, where you could turn down how much the guns talk to you, because the
Oh wow,
guns
that's funny.
do
Oh.
not shut the fuck up. they don't shut the fuck up, and it's really annoying sometimes how much they fucking talk. I didn't turn it down because I was like, I want to play the game the way that they originally wanted it to be played, dialogue and
Oh,
all. Sometimes literally actors would be stepping on each other's toes because there'd be 2 lines of dialogue coming at the same time because there's 2 characters that don't shut the fuck up.
gotcha.
Basically, every single joke was written the same way, and maybe Rick and Morty's not like this. Maybe this is a little bit lazier, but I can tell you every single joke went like this. Oh, so I'm in the video game and I'm doing video game stuff because damn, I'm really in this video game. Yeah, that's every single joke. Every single joke is just stammering over your lines, being really awkward, and then being super meta about the fact that you're in a video game.
A
Every single
lot
one.
of that is Rick and Morty. I will say.
And it literally recycled the same joke twice. Where in the beginning of the game, they did this thing where like this kid is like, "You're not gonna shoot me. You can't shoot me." Spoilers for him. High on life. This doesn't matter in the story. Nothing of this fucking matter. You can't shoot me. Ha ha. Blah blah blah. You can't shoot me. So you shoot him, and they're like, oh no, Rick, you just shot him. Oh fuck, I can't believe you shot him. And then you talk to his mom. And it's like, well, he actually was a really bad human being. You fucking should hate him. So the fact that you shot him is maybe to make the world better. 8 hours later, I do it to someone else where, oh no, my friend got trampled in this fucking line. I can't believe he died. Oh, it doesn't matter. He actually was a really bad guy. And I was like,
Yeah.
how many times can you tell this fucking joke? This is fucking stupid. It's so dumb. Yeah, I don't think I laughed. I only laughed once at the very end of the game. I don't want to spoil it because if everyone wants to play that game, that part I
Yeah.
think was funny.
Okay.
Other than that, I did not laugh for the entire 8 hours that I played this game.
Right.
The thing is, though, the shooting and the gameplay is interesting. I really actually enjoyed the gameplay. I wish there was more of it. I wish I didn't have to sit and watch stupid aliens fucking make dumb jokes over and over again and maybe play some more video game.
Right.
It is what it is. So it's
Yeah.
a solid 7 out of 10 for me, which is
fair.
unfortunate because like I know humor can be better because like South Park, Stick of Truth, hilarious game. I was cackling at that game the entire time.
Right.
I don't even
Right.
like South Park. I'm not a huge South Park fan by any means. That game was so fucking funny and also fun to play. So I know it's
Mm.
possible to make a game that can like do
Yeah.
both. I don't know why this
Yeah.
felt so flat for me.
Maybe maybe it is like there's a reason Rick and Morty are only 20-minute episodes, maybe.
Right. Maybe you can't do this for 8 hours straight. Maybe it's not made
Right.
to be that way. Or maybe you forget that they just recycle the same jokes. I don't know. But it didn't work for me. I do think it'll probably work for other people, and I hope it does.
Right.
Because I do think it was a game that did have actual care put into it. It's a beautiful game. It is very pretty.
Mm.
It is fun. It plays well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it on everything except for the actual story and dialogue when it came down to it.
Yeah. When I first saw this, I still wanted to play it, but I also really like and love Rick and Morty. But also,
Hmm.
I also I want them to continue to make games, make weird shit,
Yeah.
and just because it gives the new players new things to do. You know?
We need diversity when it comes into gaming, and I think they did. I mean, it's much better than I expected it to be. I will say that.
Right.
So I don't want to completely shit on it. It is way better
Yeah.
than I
No. No.
expected
No.
it to be. And then also, it is one of the few Xbox exclusives right now. Like, it came on
Yeah.
Xbox and PC. It's not on PlayStation right now, I don't believe. I don't know if it'll ever come out there. And it is
Yeah, I
now
don't
the
know.
highest played game on Xbox Game Pass. So I'm talking on my ass, but obviously people are interested in this game.
That's
Yeah,
wild.
it even
That's
beat
nuts.
Halo Infinite and something else that was super big.
Damn.
Maybe Forza Horizon.
What?
Yeah.
That's
So
crazy.
they made their money. I hope. I don't know how it
I
works
hope
with Game
so.
Pass. It was day one on Game Pass, so I don't know if anyone actually made real money.
Right. Right.
Hopefully Microsoft paid them. Yeah, right.
Nice. That's awesome, dude. Yeah. Maybe No, I'm not gonna get an Xbox. What am I gonna say? Never
I
mind.
mean, I saw one for $200 for Xbox Series S. To be fair, they're on sale right now.
Damn.
$200, so not bad. That's cheaper
Oh,
than a Switch right now.
that's true. That's true. Real quick, I forgot to mention him at the end of my free for all. Just shout out to God of War Ragnarok again. All right, listeners, that is the show. We hope you listen. Also, that is it for the year. So we'll see you next year, and take a little break. Like I said earlier, we'll be back though, probably with Avatar and Lord knows what else. Maybe you'll see us doing some Last of Us, Fortress Finest potentially if we're all watching that shit week to week, which I know I will. So we'll see. Who knows?
I gotta go HBO with my money again. I just fucking
Be-
canceled it.
I know. Be on the lookout for all that stuff. And then, who knows coming out the rest of the year, Mandalorian, other things. We'll see. But thank you for listening. You can email us at thefortressof@gmail.com, fortress, FOUR. Feel free to email us any questions, feedback, or recommendations, or anything like that. Also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and the YouTube channel at The Fortress of. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your grandma, tell your cat. It's the end of the year. Happy holidays. Tell all your family when you're gathering around them.
Here's to 2023.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm lighting my menorah as we speak. I'm now Jewish.
Apparently. Thank you, Jackie, for helping me edit the podcast. Thank you, Brian, for the art. Thank you, Alex, for the music. Devin, thank you for being here even when you're not here. You can find Brian at ITZ_ by the way. Alex at Peterson Films. Devin, you cannot find him because he does not exist. Yeah. We'll see you next year. Happy holidays, everyone. And, put a code on his code out there.
Mean Girls is a Christmas movie.
Ooh, controversial. What will happen next? See you next week or next year in another episode of The Fortress of